Hi, welcome on to Arsenal Fan TV. Got Claude here, got Ty here. I'm about to ask them about the brand new season. Just before I do that, make sure you have a look in the link of this video. We're doing a fantasy football league with FanDuel. There's a free league you can join. There's a 15k league for the Saturday and Sunday games. Make sure you get involved with that and use the promo code AFTV FanDuel, all right, to get involved in that league. We're all going to be entering teams. But first of all, I've got to ask these boys about the new season ahead. They're often described as negative and positive, but hopefully they're both positive about the new season. First of all, Ty, how are you thinking about the new season? Looking forward to it?
Absolutely. I mean, the way it ended last season was a bit surprising, and ended up ahead of Tottenham when their fans were crying all season. But, you know, yeah, of course, because you got to be positive. I mean, I know it's not going to start the way we want, but we never know what's going to happen. I mean,
what do you mean it's not going to start the way we want? What do you mean by that?
Well, unfortunately, there's going to be no Laurent, there's not going to be no Olivier, there's not going to be no Mesut, and there's not going to be no Gabriel now because unfortunately he got injured. You know, so we might have to dip into the transfer market. It's a shame, really, because we sold young Isaac to Newcastle, who I thought could have come in, but I think a good tip to hopefully start on Sunday would be Christian Bielik. Because I've been lucky enough to watch him in under 21s, and I think he's been outstanding. So maybe he might play alongside Rob or Callum. We'll have to wait and see.
What about you, Claude? How are you feeling ahead of the new season?
I think it's going to be the same old, I'm afraid. Unless I don't think it's going to. Even if we buy these players, I think the mentality's got to change. The whole mentality of the team has got to change. If it doesn't change, the way we play. We've got different style of play. Got to do everything. There's got a lot of things that have got to change. It's not just about buying players.
You said last year, didn't you? You said, I remember interviewing at the start of last season, and you said at that time that you think we've got a good enough team to win the league, but there's only one person who can stop us from doing that, and it's the manager.
Well, my example, everyone goes on about Leicester, as I said. Everyone goes on about last season. Yeah? Let's look at last season, right? Everyone says, well, why didn't we buy this and we don't buy this? And we're buying players. Right. At the start of last season, Leicester had, before August end, would you have changed Leicester's players for our players?
No.
Right? Would you have said Leicester were going to win the title? You wouldn't, would you?
No.
Well, so we had a good enough team, to me, to win the title last season.
Yeah.
But the mentality wasn't right, and that's why we didn't win it. We had better.
You think there'll be
had better players than that. You wouldn't have swapped their player. Not one Leicester. If you could, beginning of August last year, if you'd have said one Leicester player would get in our team, would they?
No. So, do you have faith that the manager has changed the mentality for this season?
Well, this is where we have to see. If he does change it, then great. I'll be fully behind.
But do you think he will change it?
I have my doubts because it's not been changed in the last 5 or 6 years, has it? And we still have the same old. Also, a lot of things will depend on injuries. If we can get players fit, I think we've got a good enough squad. Don't get me wrong. I think the squad's good enough. It's just I don't think the players are good enough. I just don't think the mentality is right. I don't think there's enough. When we go behind, when we're under pressure, I don't think the players can cope with it. I just don't. The whole mentality's got to change.
What do you say to that? I mean, because basically that is the manager. Claude's saying the manager is not instilling the right mentality in these players to win the league. Would you agree with that?
No, I wouldn't agree. I mean, he's right about Leicester, but then Leicester.
Why? Listen to his point that he makes. That last season, in August, would you have put any of those Leicester players in our squad or in our first team?
No.
Mahrez, none of them would have made it, would they?
No, I don't think so.
And now, they won the league. Is that down to last year? Was that down to the mentality of the manager?
Yeah, but it's only so much though, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, if the manager's setting the team up right, he can only do so much. Obviously, the buck stops with the manager, but it stops with the players as well. I think injuries was a massive part of it because, to me, next season we can win the quadruple. People might laugh because
quadruple?
Absolutely. Listen, and the reason why I say that is because for Leicester to win the league, that means anything can happen. You know, but the thing is, yeah, he has a
What did you say?
God, you do. I've had a bad few weeks, but you've cheered me up, mate. Listen.
hold on. But you're saying that he hasn't started. Season hasn't started. Sorry to interrupt, because I better get in now because I know all the season he's going to be interrupting me every single game. But the thing is, you're saying the season hasn't started. Fair enough. But yet you're saying the mentality hasn't changed.
But are you serious though that you think we can win the quadruple?
No. Obviously, in hindsight, I don't think it's going to happen. What I'm saying is, the way Leicester City won it, anything can happen because nobody could believe it. But Claude said, I agree with him about the things, but injuries have got a lot to do with it. And then if we take this season, we have to forget about last season, isn't it? We want to do better. We can only look on what we've done in pre-season, and the only team we really played of any quality was Manchester City, and we beat them. So, you know.
The reason we were getting injuries because players were overplayed and they were not rested at the right time, and that's why we got injuries. And the Sanchez one, he was already injured in going into the game. He was already in, and he made it worse. Cazorla got injured, and that was very unfortunate. I think he was the massive miss last, Sandy Cazorla, because he drives the ball. He can drive us forward more. And
you think we could
massive miss.
You think we can win the quadruple?
Yeah, and then the alarm clock will wake me up. Yeah, yeah, but
Don't worry, you're still asleep now. Don't worry about that. Yeah, of course. Because why the started an impossible point. The thing is, what I'm saying is, obviously, I don't think it's going to happen. But what I'm saying is that, like Claude has even said, Claude's made my point for me. If anybody said Leicester City will win the league.
Sorry, I'm not having the quadruple thing.
No, but what I'm saying that is
I'm not having the quadruple
well,
thing.
listen, when we went unbeaten, nobody would have thought we would go unbeaten. But what I'm saying is that, listen, if anyone would have said Leicester City will win the league, nobody would have believed them. So that means anything can happen, can't it? I don't think we're going to win it. But, you know, the thing is, Claude is saying about them. He's saying about injuries. Fair enough. Maybe there were self-inflicted injuries. But what happened to Francis then? Francis got injured, Coquelin, injured when we were 1-0 up at West Brom. So what can we do about that? Leicester didn't get those. That's what I'm saying. So, you know,
listen, Claude, at the end of the season, you was calling for the manager's head. You were saying, I remember at the time they had this time for change stuff and all that. And you were saying at that time that you wanted...
No, that was a total waste of time.
Yeah.
I mean, what got me
forget about that thing though, but you wanted the manager gone, right? Now, he's not gone, he's still here. You seem to be saying that you feel there's going to be the same sort of problems again this season.
Well, also the problem is as well is that he's only got a 1-year contract. He's not signed any extension on the contract at all, so there's uncertainty whether he's going to be here at the end of the season. So then now you've got players here thinking, oh, you know, who will we playing for next season, or will there be someone else different? So that brings a lot of uncertainty in as well. I said at the end of last year, either he signs it for a year or he goes. But this 1 year, I think, puts a lot of that into players. That's not helpful. So I don't know.
Would you give him an extension?
To be honest with you, if he can change, right, and change his way, not be so stubborn, or change the way of playing, even now and again play 4-4-2 or do something different. Instead of the same predictable style we play, which is all right when everything is going well, but when things are not going well, it's not getting us anywhere. If we can change his style of play, can vary the style of play, can get the players' mentality. The players as well got to look at themselves as well. If that can change, then I want him to. I'm not in. This is another thing I really disagree with. This AKB, WTOB, two separate camps. If he wins, though, we're still against him. I'm not that. And if he does the business, I'm for him again. That's the way I am. That's the way I am. I want, because at the end of the day, we support one side. It's not two. It's not two groups. AKB, WOB, or whatever. We support the same bloody team, and we should all be behind the same team. And if he's doing the job, I will respect that. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be interesting if he does change. I'm hoping he does change.
Do you think he can be flexible this year? I mean, that was a criticism last year. It's the same tactics. One of the guys he's going to be up against this year is Mourinho. We've never beaten Mourinho.
Yeah, Mr. Arrogant.
Mourinho's now at Manchester United. He's brought in players like Pogba, etc. Mkhitaryan. They've got a good team. Mourinho's there. It's going to be harder this year, isn't it? It's going to be harder to get past these teams.
Yeah, Mr. Arrogant, Mr. Nasty, Mr. Dismissive, Mr. Patronising, Mr. Rude, Mr. Twat. Yeah, that's his proper name.
Like Mr. Winner.
Yeah, Mr. Winner. No. But the thing is,
Never mind all that.
No, you can't
At the end of the day, we're not in the business to be nice.
I don't agree.
We're not in the business to be nice. We're here to win, right? Whether the bloke's nice or it doesn't interest me. I'd rather this geezer be like Mourinho and do exactly if he was a winner than be a nice bloke and end up third or fourth every season.
Arrogant, patronising, horrible. You'd rather be him like that. You'd rather Okay.
What they do in the private, as long as the private is, I don't look. We're not here. We're not here to. This is not a contest of what that person, what they're like, or they got to win. I want to win. I want to win trophies.
Fair enough.
I
And
want to be the number one in the country.
absolutely. So,
Us to be number one,
Yeah.
and how it's done, it's done.
so
If someone wants to do it that way, that's their business.
no, because you stick to football. We're talking about football. If I'm going to personally insult you, let's not talk about football then. So at least we've got a manager who's got class, humility and dignity. And the funny thing is, Rob, what you're saying, we've got Mourinho, so what? Pogba, fantastic players. So what? We don't have to look to anyone except ourselves. Manchester City have just signed as what? Signed John Stones for 47.5 million. Should we pay that money for him? As good as he is? Pogba's nearly cost 90 million. Fantastic players. Should we be spending that money when we've got players who we think are on the level? You know, I mean, I'm not worried about Guardiola. I give Guardiola respect. I think he's the best manager in the world at his present time. But I'm not worried about Mr. Arrogant, Mr. Nasty, Mr. Dismissive, Mr.
But they always beat us. He always beats us. That's the thing.
Yes, he did always beat us. And even I'll actually quote what he said on Sky Sports News or wherever the press conference is. He said that, well, I'm just paraphrasing everyone. There's a manager that hasn't won the league for 10 years. Arsenal, obviously, if we fill in the blanks. Then he said, I won the league last year. If he's so great, why did he get a sack then? If he's so great. So whatever you said about the manager, that manager, Arsene, he's talking about, has created the best ever Premiership team that is still standing, the Invincibles, and also he's seen him off. So, you know, he has the experience. I think he can change, yes. I think he's got to be more flexible. You know, he's got to be more flexible.
All right, so where are we going to finish? Right? Where are we going to finish? Claude.
I think we'll finish second, but the trouble is, I think them down the road are going to win it. I hate
Spurs.
I hate it. I hate it.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You've dug it now. This is not what you said last season, because I can't remember you. You were saying, you don't believe me, but something I'm going to win it. I told you, yeah, you was wrong.
You've been wrong for the last 10 years, but I don't go on about it.
But I always back the team. But I always back the team. You're always wrong as well, though. Because you said, if you're saying about being wrong, are you the person, are you the person who said if Yaya scores a hat-trick, I run around the streets naked? Isn't that not you?
Yeah, he didn't score a hat-trick.
He did score a hat-trick, though. He scored a hat-trick. His name is down, has a hat-trick. And you know what? I was even reading it on the other day on my mum's phone on Twitter. They said, Arsenal fan mucks it up. You said it. Now, why are you not running around naked? You said Yaya would not score a hat-trick. And you're talking about me being wrong. Me being wrong. You're starting again.
Well, if you give your gob a rest a minute, I'll explain.
Yeah, go on then.
The ball hit the post, right? The ball hit the post, hit the defender, went back in. You think I'm going to accept that as a hat-trick?
Hold on.
Listen. All right, let me get back to the question. So you're saying you think second and you're going Spurs first?
I think Spurs will win it, yeah.
All right.
I hate what I'm saying. But I'm being honest.
Okay.
You really are on this tip, aren't you?
And what about you?
Well, listen, Tottenham will be lucky to get second, I think. I think we will hopefully finish first. And that's what I say. The thing you've got you've got to aim for the top. Isn't it? You've got to aim for the top. That's what we're aiming for. Wherever we finish is where we finish. But I'm confident if we can learn the mistakes of last season and the other seasons, getting some players and not get injuries and get the luck that Leicester City got. Why not? Why can't we be champions?
Okay, finally, right, for our fantasy fan duel, for the fantasy football team, you both got to select 2 players. Right, you can have one Arsenal player, and you can have one player from another team. So you give me, this is going to be a Spurs player, is it?
No, it's not.
Gay Set and match.
No.
To Robbie Lyle, get set and match.
All right, go on, give us your two.
Yeah,
Quick.
Why aren't these locked up? Jesus
Why?
Christ.
All right, give us your two.
I can't pronounce his name though. It's the Russian guy, signed for Man United.
Oh, Mkhitaryan. Yeah. He's from Armenia, actually.
Is it right?
Armenia, yeah.
Is he right? But he's
Armenian, yeah. So Mkhitaryan, yeah,
and for us,
yeah,
the goalkeeper, because he'll keep a few.
Petr Cech, all right, Petr Cech, okay, and Mkhitaryan. What about you?
Right, it's got to be Alexis.
Yeah.
And do I have to pick another?
You do have to pick someone from another team. You do.
From another team.
There are other teams out there as well, apart from Arsenal. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, of course I would, because I'm the one that said Tottenham are going to win the league, aren't I? And I said we're going to finish
Come on,
second.
give us your other. You've given us Alexis.
Well, yeah, and I have to look on last season. Who I've really been impressed with, and I was impressed with him in the Euros, even though he played for about 4 minutes. Marcus Rashford, fantastic.
Okay, Marcus Rashford. My two, I'm going to go Alexis as well. Yeah. I think Alexis. I'm going to go Dimitri Payet as my other one. Right. So those are my two. You guys can also enter our fantasy football league. The code, as I said, is AFTV FanDuel. We're all in.
Fantasies every night, mate. I never get.
Not fantasy, FanDuel, right? Right. So enter your team. Right. The link is below. We're entering our teams as well. Make sure you enter your team. Listen, thanks. It's good to have you guys.
Never seen tiny pajamas, have you?
I missed. You know what? I didn't think I'd say this, but I've missed you two. You know, I've missed you two.
Thank you very much. We've missed.
I've really missed you two, man. I mean, you've livened up my day again.
I mean, how could you? When do you think you could come to Emirates and talk about Tottenham winning the league? It must be.
Yeah, I'm not with you on that one. I'm definitely not with. What I'd say is, if they finish second, that means we're definitely going to finish first.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm happy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Listen, where do you think Arsenal are going to finish as well? Leave it in the comments. We'll do a little poll on it. Do you think Claude's right?
No.
But thanks for watching Arsenal Fan TV.
Thank you very much.
What happened with that? What because nobody could get hold of you, nobody could find you. Was it just something that you needed some time to yourself, or what?
I stormed out of my house in an argument.